If you're a wedding pro who stays busy every season, but your income looks almost the same year after year, and you're looking at 2026 wanting a change, this episode is for you. Welcome to Grow My Wedding Business, where we speak with industry experts, teach you how to grow your wedding business, and give you the tools you need to take it to the top. I hope you're ready to grow because this is your season. Welcome to Grow My Wedding Business. This is the show where wedding creatives, officiants, planners, photographers, DJs, venue owners, wedding professionals of all types get great advice and hear valuable interviews that can literally change their business forever. This is not a show about business hacks, get-rich-quick business advice, or internet guru nonsense. If you're ready to get down to business and watch your wedding business grow and become sustainable, let's go. Today, I want to talk about why there are so many really talented wedding pros. And I'm saying this sincerely. When I look around in this industry, so many wedding creatives are incredibly talented, but more and more and more of them are feeling completely stuck when it comes to business. This industry is really hard on people that don't have a lot of business knowledge, and unfortunately, a lot of wedding owners don't have business knowledge. I didn't have wedding business knowledge. I had no idea what I was doing. So if that's you, this episode is going to hopefully not hit you hard. This is not a judgment episode. This is an episode to help you open your eyes to maybe some of the reasons that you're not growing year after year. A lot of wedding business owners that I talk to and that I see actually don't even realize what's happening. They don't realize the things that are holding them back, or maybe the lack of certain things that are holding them back. So this is an episode to hopefully open your eyes to some things that will help you immediately, proactively help your business start to grow. Number one, I want to talk about a pattern that most pros do not notice in their business. We wake up, we do the same thing every morning, at least every weekday morning, most of us, or before we're going to work. We a lot of times eat the same things. We have the same grocery list when we buy groceries. We get in these patterns. Sometimes we'll break them, but when we get into a pattern in our business and we are naturally creative, that can not only create laziness where we don't even know we're being lazy, but it can create distraction. It can create other things that we try to do when we're doing these things over and over and over, and we really need to pay attention and change some of these things. So let me paint a picture for you. You book a similar number of weddings every year, and that becomes the normal, and it almost becomes part of your growth mindset, and you think you're doing good because last year you did good, 2025 you did good, 2026 I'm going to do good. And in your mind, you're thinking, I'm hitting the same numbers. That in business is not good because inflation happens, the cost of things go up, everything goes up continuously, and your prices and your profit have to go up continuously. So here's something else. Your calendar fills up, and it fills up the same as it did last year. And you're like, oh, I'm doing good because my calendar is filling up the same as it did last year. Oh, look, I'm staying busy. I love the busy word. We're staying busy, so in our mind that equates to our business doing good, or we're making money, we're doing good, we're busy, calendars, all of this stuff is happening. You see what I'm talking about? These patterns in our mind. Revenue is not moving anywhere, though. It's staying the same. In fact, if we are staying the same and we're stuck in these same patterns, unfortunately, because the way the world is, everything increases in price and we start paying more for things and we start making less, even though on paper we're making the same thing year after year. So if we talk about the reality of this being stuck in a pattern, most people not noticing it, the reality of that is not growth. That is repetition. And repetition in a human's mind is good and is comfortable. And we don't want to get out of that comfort. So repetition in our mind is good, but it's really not in our wedding business. We've got to figure out a way to get out of this repetition and to help some of these other things grow and get better instead of staying the same. Same pricing, same clients, not good. Same referral sources. Oh, this is a big one. I've talked about this a lot in my past episodes. We talk about referrals and how referrals are 40, 50, 60% of your business. They should be. And if they're not, something's wrong. So we count on these same referral sources. We don't have a marketing plan to go out and get more referral services. Or, as I talk about, SGPs, strategic growth partnerships. That's what I've always taught, because referrals should be strategic partnerships, strategic relationships, and growth is part of that, strategic growth partnership, because they help us grow year after year. Same referral sources, same marketing. Did you update your marketing plan for 2026? You might be saying, yes, I did. I hope if you did, you've already started implementing that and you're starting to see results and growth off of that. What about the same stress? Do you have the same stress? Do you know you're failing as a business owner if you have something in your business that causes you stress or anxiety and you don't try to get rid of that stress and anxiety over time? If you live with it and you think, as I grow my business, I'm just going to have more and more stress and anxiety. No, that is not a successful business owner. A successful business owner will have a task that causes stress or anxiety, and they'll delegate that task. It might even be to software or AI or just to a person, but you delegate that and remove that stress and anxiety. So the same things, the same patterns, some of these that I pointed out you might not even have thought about are happening, and that's one of the reasons that your business is staying the same. So let's reframe our thinking. If your income stays the same, your business is not broken, your business is capped. You are at the top of what you're going to do until you make a change. Number 2, why talent and hard work do not fix this. But Chad, I'm putting in so much extra effort. You don't understand. I've learned another way of doing my photography. I've learned another way of doing my catering. I've learned another set of skills in my bakery. I've learned more ceremonies, and I'm better in front of people as an officiant. All of these are excuses, and they're excuses that say I'm getting more talented, I'm getting more creative, I'm working harder. The problem is talent and hard work will not fix this issue, okay? This is mindset. This whole thing is a big mindset shift. Some of the most talented wedding pros that I have ever seen are now in a season of being stuck. As their growth is happening, or as they were trying to grow, they're now stuck and they don't know what to do to get out of this momentum that has paused, and they're just on a level line, and they're like, I want to grow, but I don't know what to do. Skill does not equal scale. Your skill is great. It's needed. It's a must. You have to be good at what you do in the wedding industry. But scale is produced through systems and strategy and clarity. And until you get those things, you can't scale your business. You will hit a cap and you'll stop growing. Another thing is passion does not equal progress. Your passion is great. You've got to have passion in this industry. In fact, couples can tell if they hire you and you're not passionate. I've had couples come to me and say, hey, I hired you because I talked to these last two guys, these last two girls, and they were not passionate whatsoever. They're just doing this to make a buck, and I didn't like that, so I got with you. So passion does not equal progress. And how do we progress? We have to do the things that I'm talking about. The wedding industry rewards talent, right? If you jump into the wedding industry, you've never been in it before, you're trying to do something, you're trying to be an officiant, you're trying to be a photographer, a videographer, a DJ, something like that, and you're really, really good at what you do. You stand out. People are looking for talented people. You stand out. So the wedding industry rewards that talent and you'll get hired. However, when you're starting to build a business and you're starting to try to grow and get more income and become profitable, the wedding industry doesn't always reward structure automatically. So you've got to think through these processes. Without systems, if you structure your business however you want, that's fine. But if you don't have systems in place, growth is accidental. I see a lot of wedding business owners, venue owners especially, who they'll buy a piece of property, they'll put a beautiful barn on it, and they'll decorate it for weddings, and they put their website out there, and they're like, man, we are going to kill it. We're going to do really good. And the first year, they do great. And then the second year, they do the same as they did the first year, and they're like, yeah, it's not bad. We're still doing pretty good. And then the third year, they do the same as they did the first year and the second year, and their mindset says, okay, this is how much money our business can make. That's it. When in all actuality, their business could do twice, 3 times, maybe even 4 times the amount of business, the amount of money, and they could profit 3 or 4 times what they are profiting. But they have gotten to that place accidentally, so they don't even know they can go further because they accidentally got there. They did not set their systems up. They did not have all of their systems in place for communication, for their marketing. They didn't know what they were doing. They just happened to get to where they were at. So without systems, the growth you experience is accidental. And when you plateau and you don't have systems, that's great because you can put them in place and then you can grow even further. Accidental growth always plateaus. And unfortunately, many businesses, not just wedding businesses, and many businesses in the United States, most probably live at their plateau, and they could do so much more, but they never do it because they're just okay with being where they're at. And that's fine. If you want to live like that, if you want to have a business that could do way more and you want to live at that spot, that's fine. But a lot of us don't. A lot of us want to grow as much as we possibly can year after year. You don't rise to your potential. You rise to the level of your systems. I want to say that again because we think about your potential. You can reach your potential. You can reach your potential, but your business, you don't rise to your potential, okay? You rise because of potential, but you rise to the level of your systems. If your systems are strong, you'll keep rising. You'll keep growing. Your business will become well-known, and it will become a large entity in your community, and you can add on whatever you want to add on. You can hire people if you want to hire people. You can use your mind and dream big and have a vision, and it will continue to grow. You rise to the level of your systems. Number 3, the 5 real reasons wedding pros get stuck. All right, so this is the main thing. I want you to listen up closely. 5 real reasons that wedding pros get stuck. Number 1, and I just talked about this a little bit. I just touched the surface of this. There's so much more we could go into and we could dive really deep. They build their businesses on randomness, okay? I don't know what I'm doing, but it seems to be working, so I'm going to keep doing it. Random thought, random act. They're randomly doing something that seems to be working. It's random. Random referrals. I am getting referrals left and right. Oh, where do your referrals come from? I don't know. Word of mouth. That's what I hear. I hear people say, it's word of mouth. That's great. Where is that word of mouth coming from? I don't know. It might be my website. It might be the couples that tell other couples. It might be Google. I don't know, but it's great. Random inquiries. I got an inquiry. Somebody wants my business, and I don't know where I got it from. You have no clue where that inquiry came from. No. Why didn't you ask? I just didn't think to do that. Random good months. And this is where it gets really tricky. In season, out of season. Good season, bad season. I'm having a bad season. I'm having a good season. You should not be saying that. You should be able to control your good months, your bad months. You shouldn't have random good months. And you definitely shouldn't have a good month and not know why you had a good month. All of this, set up in systems, trackable. Knowledge is power when it comes to your business. You shouldn't have random good months. Random, slow. I had a slow month. Oh, I'm a venue owner. I had a slow month this month. Why did you have a slow month? I guess people just weren't getting married this month. Have you looked around? Call some of the other venues and see how busy they are. Well, this is just a slow wedding month. It always has been. Does it have to be? Out of all the people in your community, out of all the venues, out of all the bakers, out of all the DJs, out of all the photographers, why can't you be the one that gets the business in this off month? Because you didn't design it like that. You didn't set up the systems to make sure that you were getting the business in this off month, off season. If your business depends on luck, like so many people, it just depends on luck. And they say, no, my business doesn't depend on luck. I know I can get business. I can do marketing. I can do all of this stuff. And then I'm like, so why don't you get more business? Well, it's just a slow season. Your business depends on luck then. So if your business depends on luck, consistency is impossible. There are so many unknowns when your business depends on luck. If you don't think it depends on luck, how many unknowns are there? Do you know where your business comes from? Can you track all of it? Do you know how much profit you should make next month? Do you know how much profit you made 3 months ago? Do you know where all of that business came from? Do you know where all your inquiries are coming from, all your referrals? Do you know how to increase business in a slow month and turn it on and turn it off? Then we've got problems. We've got a business that's depending on luck. Here's another reason. The 5 real reasons wedding pros get stuck. Number 2, they confuse being busy with building. Well, I am busy all the time. Busy, Chad. My business must be growing. Or you're just busy. Bookings do not equal growth. All right? Activity doesn't equal progress. Just because you're busy, just because you're getting bookings, just because activity spikes does not mean your business is growing. It does not mean you are progressing. You are still going to hit a slow season if you're not set up and ready and knowledgeable and have systems and have structure in your business and have clarity. If you don't have that stuff, you're still going to have, maybe you're at your high season right now and you're going to go back into a low season. And then you hustle and you're working, and that hides problems. Then you start having more problems, and your business, you get to 2027 and you look at 2026 and it's exactly the same. It is a straight line once again. Just because you had a high spot in February or March or June, it comes back down. It is the same, and we don't want the same. Busy feels productive, okay? It just does. We get busy, we do work, we have our head buried in our work and our emails in all of the business that we're doing, and that feels productive. But it can actually keep you stuck. Think of being busy like burying your head in the sand. That is not always a good thing, and that's a good way to feel stuck if you're not actually paying attention to the core problems in your business. Number 3, they never raise their ceiling. This is what I talked about when it comes to plateauing. So when it comes to price, people are afraid to raise their prices. Did you raise your prices this year? Well, no, because I raised them in 2025. You should raise your prices every single year so your pricing stays the same for years. Okay, that's part of not raising your ceiling. Your services. How long have you had those services? I've had those services for 3 years now. 3 great years. How much revenue have you? Well, I've done the same revenue every single year. We've had great years. Well, you're not growing. Your services haven't evolved. There's a reason these things are happening. No premium offers. When is the last time you've put out some kind of premium offer, top dollar, more than you thought you were even worth? Because we tend to look at ourselves as creative wedding professionals and we charge too little a lot of the times because we don't think we are worth it. Premium pricing, premium offer. No leverage. How many times have you set yourself up for failure because you don't provide the leverage? You don't give yourself enough. Pricing can create leverage. When you have something priced so low that you have to watch your time, you have to spend exactly the same amount of time. You can't actually put in the work to make the thing work. If you're a venue and you have a package that's priced so low, you have to rush people through it and we got to get them out of here. We're not going to make any money. That's not leverage. Leverage is when you have a premium package and they pay for that package and they come in and you can provide the best possible 5-star incredible experience for that couple that they have ever had and will ever experience. It's a memory they'll never forget because you have got leverage, because you're charging enough. You can't grow income if your offers, your pricing, your services, if they never grow. You cannot grow your income, and it will not grow if these things never grow. Number 4, they depend on referrals without a strategy. This is huge, and I want you to hear me loud and clear. My businesses have blossomed with referrals. 50 to 60% of my business was referrals. Referrals, sending business my way month after month, week after week, and you're like, yeah, but that just happened to be, that was chance. There's nothing chance about it. You can literally set up a strategy in your business to where you get referrals, or what I call them strategic growth partnerships, that will help your business boom and make a lot of money. You can set up an on and off switch, and you can actually create this system where referrals will send you business when you need business and will slow down when you don't need the business. And it's a beautiful thing. Referrals are powerful, but unpredictable. Are they unpredictable? Yes, they absolutely are unpredictable unless you set up a system to make sure referrals consistently give you business. Vendor relationships fade. Naturally, vendor relationships fade. Your relationships with other vendors, with venues, these things are forgotten about. So that's part of setting up a system to make sure these relationships don't fade. Okay? Your system is addressing all of these issues. And when you address all these issues and you clean it all up with strategy, people will continuously send you the business. Venues change staff. Oh yeah, venues change staff. They might not know about me in a few months. That's why you have a system to make sure they always know about you. Couples stop coming. Yep, they do. So you would include that in the strategy, in the system, to make sure the couples don't stop coming. Is this really possible, Chad? Yes, it's absolutely possible. Referrals are amazing until you think they are chance and they disappear, and then your business is slow and you're like, I don't know why my business is slow, because you have no proactive strategy and system in place to make sure you get strategic growth partnerships, or in your case, what a lot of people call them, referrals, over and over and over. Number 5, they've never stepped back to design the business. I love this one. This is probably my favorite one. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. No direction, no long-term thinking, no projecting, here's what I need to see, no vision, here's what I need my business to do in the next few years, here's how I need to get there, here's the exact roadmap. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make sure we have systems in place. I'm going to make sure communication is just incredible. People have a 5-star experience. I'm getting referrals. People don't forget about me. My marketing is always on or off if I need it, but it's got a switch I can turn on and get the marketing. You've got these things in place, but you cannot have these things in place if you don't step back and design your business. If you didn't do it in the beginning, you don't have a design and a plan for your business. So stop, step back, take the time to design your business, put that work in, and watch what happens. Most wedding pros do not own a business, okay? They own a really demanding job that they created for themselves. And a lot of times they hate their boss, and their boss is themselves and all the work that they're having to do because they have not put anything into place, any plan, any strategy, any systems. They haven't delegated any of it. So their business is taking over their life. Let that one sit there in your mind. Most wedding pros don't own a business. They own a really demanding job that they created for themselves. The real solution. So what is the solution? Chad, you say strategy and you say systems. You say that a lot. Yeah, because that can literally change your business in a month. You could have a business that is automated and all the stress, a lot of the stress is out of it and it's growing, and you've got the marketing set up and people are coming in and all of these things that in your mind right now are everywhere and you don't know what to do. These things are set up. So you have to shift your mindset to hope, because right now, if you're struggling in your business, there is absolutely hope. And not only is there hope, there is a way out. So first of all, let's talk about a few things. Number one, clarity. You have got to understand exactly where you are at before you plan, before you get out of where you're at, before you move forward, before you take any steps, set any goals. If you don't have clarity and understand where you're at in your business, what your business looks like, who it serves, where it needs to go, you cannot move forward, and there is no hope. You've got to have the clarity. Systems, you hear me say systems all the time. For instance, when I first started this business, I started getting really busy. I was doing a lot of things right, okay? I had marketing set up. I had my search engine optimization, my website, my social media. I was doing all of these things and just killing it. And I started getting overwhelmed, and I started falling behind on communicating with people. I was trying to answer every email myself. I was a micromanager. I didn't want anybody else to do anything, and it was just me and my wife. And I started struggling. I was like, man, this is tough. I'm getting behind on communicating with people and email and text and phone. And the problem is I didn't have a system. I had one number on my website and one form on my website. People would fill out a form, they'd send me a form, and I would email back and forth. I'd email, say, if you want to text, they text me. All of this stuff. You can see how confusing this would get, especially if you're dealing with 10, 15 people, 20 sometimes at a time, scheduling for several months out for wedding services. And then you start building your business and start getting really stressed out. You have a lot of pressure on you, and it just gets jumbled. So I decided to set up one system. A system is anything that helps you, anything that automates, any way to take something off of your plate. A hat that you're wearing, take off that hat. You have a bunch of hats in your business. Take off one so you don't have to stress out of it. That is setting up a system. So this system was a CRM. It's called HoneyBook. A lot of you might use HoneyBook. I started setting up all my contracts, all of my emails, all of my automation. They would literally fill out a form. They'd get an email response back, and then that had a questionnaire in it. The questionnaire would be sent back to me. If a certain answer was checked, or if another certain answer was checked, then it would create an invoice. I would clear the invoice and say, yep, it would send that. It was automated. Everything was automated. So I took this humongous workload off of me. I could have hired a secretary, I guess, but I paid whatever it was, $40, $45 a month, and I took this huge workload off of me and set up that system, okay? That one system saved me so much time. I added another whole branch and another piece of our business that made us twice as profitable, made us twice as much money as we did before. So setting up the system, that's when I talk about systems. That's just for communication. Can you imagine doing that for marketing and for referrals and for all your communication and for everything in your business? It's a beautiful thing. All right, let's talk about positioning. Positioning. Where are you at in your community, in your business? Where are you visible in your community? Where do most of your customers come from? Who is your perfect customer, your customer avatar? Who is the exact customer that you want to come to your business? What do they look like? If you had to describe them and give them a name and put them at a job somewhere and give them a certain amount of income they made every year, so you knew exactly who your perfect customer was, who was that? Have you ever designed that? What is your positioning in this market? If your answer is, I have no clue, I don't know, that is a problem. What about relationships? How do you build relationships? How do you keep track of relationships? How do you make sure that relationships flourish and you continue to get more relationships? How do you keep track of all that? Is there a system in place? Is there anything? No, that's a big problem. What about community? How are you building community around what you do? How do you have cheerleaders out there? How does it look on social media for you? Do you have people that are huge fans of your business? Well, no, I just have customers. That is a problem. You've got to build community within this industry around your business. Growth does not start, okay? Growth does not begin with more leads in your business. It starts with understanding your business precisely at a deeper level. You've got to know your business inside and out. And that's where the clarity comes in that I talked about earlier. So you've got to have intentional growth. It's got to be intentional. You got to know what you're doing. You've got to have strategic partnerships, strategic growth partnerships. You hear me talk about all the time. Repeatable systems. You've got to have a clear identity. You've got to have a vision. You've got to have that clarity. So I want to get you familiar with these concepts. As we go forward with Grow My Wedding Business, these are the concepts that surround everything I've done in my businesses that have got me to where I am. These are the things that the wedding professionals you see that create great businesses where they're making a lot of money, helping a lot of couples. They're growing year after year. These are the same things that they have in place. So lastly, on this episode, I want to encourage you, because it doesn't matter where you are at in your business. It doesn't make a difference if you don't understand where you are, if you don't know all of these things and have all of the answers, okay? If this episode, while you're listening to it, feels uncomfortable, if it feels uncomfortably accurate, you're like, wow, I don't know a lot of this, that is not a bad thing, okay? It's actually a good thing. Being stuck doesn't mean that you have failed. You're not late to the game. You just don't know what you don't know, and there is a chance to learn these things. It means that nobody taught you this, and nobody taught me this. I had to learn it over many years, so that's why I have this here. I want to teach you these things. The industry does not teach, they don't talk about, and most schools don't talk about business fundamentals. They don't teach you this stuff, so do not feel bad. You don't need to work harder. You're probably a really hard worker. You've probably got a great work ethic, but you need a smarter foundation. That is what fixes all of these things. Lastly, I want to invite you, if you haven't, you know what to do if you're on YouTube so that you see the next video and know when the next video comes out. If you're listening on the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. And I'm so thankful that you would do that and take your time to listen to the advice that I'm giving you. This podcast is part of something much bigger that I'm trying to do here, building a community for wedding pros who want real growth and not just survival in their business. And if you'll go to the description in the podcast, you go to the description in the YouTube channel, you'll see where you can join that community. It's a free community for wedding business owners. If you ever felt like your business has more potential than your bank account reflects, you, my friend, are in the right place, and I want to see you succeed. I want all of us to grow together in business, and I hope that you've enjoyed this podcast. Listen for the next podcast. It is You Don't Have a Marketing Problem. You have a clarity problem. We're going to talk about that clarity and how to start to get that clarity. And then every episode, I'm going to try to unpack all of the stuff that you heard in this episode. I'm going to start to unpack layer by layer. I'm going to peel it off like an onion so that you can have your eyes open to maybe some new concepts, systems, things that you can put in place in your business that'll help. Thank you so much for listening to Grow My Wedding Business. I'm Chad Muncie, and I'll see you next time. If today's episode hit home and you're ready to go deeper, I've built 2 resources for you. First, my book, Wedding Pros Playbook, is a complete breakdown of the marketing, positioning, pricing, and growth strategies that serious wedding pros use to build real businesses. You can grab the book at growmyweddingbusiness.com/playbook. Second, I've created a free Grow My Wedding Business community on School, where wedding pros connect, get clarity, and start implementing this stuff step by step. Join us at school.com/GMWB. That's school.com/GMWB. If you're serious about growing smarter, not just busier, I can't wait to see you inside.